using the lemming strategy. This is the Conqueror GC. This is a British Tier 10 SPG. The map is Murovanka. This is a ranked battle. I'm in Division 2. I think it's Shield 6 or something like that. And there's a protective shield coming up, which I believe might be Shield 7. So I'm really excited about approaching that. So I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you the story about when I met my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, Laura Tenaglia. So what happened was, I didn't know my great-grandmother lived in the same city as me until she died. When she died, my uncle, what was his name? What was my uncle's name? What was his name? It's not Chesera. It's something like Chesera. What was? Oh, an ally fired at me. Is that his way of alerting to me? I mean, let me fire, dude. He might have done it by mistake, but sometimes people do it on purpose. What is my uncle's name? What is my uncle's name? Can't remember his name. I think it begins with a C. What is his name? Amadeo. His name is Amadeo. So it's my uncle's name is Amadeo. He lives in Argentina, Mendoza, Argentina. And one day he called and he said, "Oh, your great-grandmother died. If you want to go to the hospital, you can see her." And we went to the hospital. And, no, she was in the hospital. She hadn't died yet. She died 5 days later, 5 or 6 days later. And she was this little petite woman. Her name was Laura. And my grandmother was there, and they were talking. You know, my grandmother, Javina, was my great-grandmother's daughter. And, man, I'm thinking, you know, they lived in the same city for my whole life. This is like 20 years or more. And they never spoke and nothing like that. They were very happy that day, and they were smiling. They were talking about soap operas, and Laura didn't speak any English. My grandmother's English is very broken. She only knows food words like meatball. And they were so happy to talk. And they looked similar to each other, except for, again, Laura was very petite. And she died like a week later. She was like 93 years old. My family does have some decent longevity. And I think I was in college at the time. So like I went off to college. It had to have been around 1993 or something like that. So I knew that there was some family. You know what? It was more like 90 or 91. It was a year after I graduated from high school. Because I had met my uncle, Amadeo, at the state fair a year earlier. And nobody likes Amadeo. Everybody hates him. Hey, Uncle Amadeo, nobody like you. And ain't nobody gonna like you. Which I got some funny stories about Amadeo. Unfortunately, my father he's got the Biden, so he's always confusing one person with another. You know, he'll tell one, "Oh, it was your uncle Luigi," and another story it'll be Amadeo. It's the same story. So I met Laura, and I went off to college, and then I forgot about it. But then, you know, fast forward like 15 years later, my grandmother died, and all the family's back together again. And I had like just had a motorcycle accident, and I went to my grandmother's funeral, and I met a bunch of these relatives, and I was like, yeah, you know, I kind of remember some of you. You know what I mean? And there were people that knew me from when I was a child. I didn't know who they were, or maybe I had met them when I was like 5 years old. Like my godmother. I have no idea what her name is. It's like Ella or Elia. She's also a very petite Mother Teresa-like woman. And the game's almost over. And so I got a chance to see my family again, and I was like, you know, I'm so happy to meet my cousin Frank. Looks like that guy suicided. And we keep in touch. You know, we every day I might expect to get a message from him. even though we're on different parts of the world. And you know, my cousin Frank, when he was like 50 years old, he's engaged to get married. Isn't that wonderful? All he's got to do is lose another 400 pounds. He's losing weight. He's losing weight because he had his stomach stapled. He's got some funny stories. Oh, come on. As long as I didn't lose a chevron, I don't mind. 1,500 damage. 1,600. We're going to put 1,600. I'm actually going to put 17. No, I'm going to put 16. I thought I had a protective chevron. Number 8.